Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got to help you with a couple of ground rules first before we begin our program. We'll ask the speakers when they come up to please leave their masks on until they get to the podium, remove them, and then put them back on before going back to their seats. All of the speakers this morning are going to use the same podium, the one to my right, if you're in the audience, to your left. As I introduce them, we'll use that as an opportunity to sanitize that podium between speakers. Also, at the end of the press conference, we will have an opportunity for media to ask general questions. There are 2 microphones here on either side of the dais. We would ask that when you come up to use those microphones, please do not touch them. We'll be watching if in case you forget and you adjust it or whatever, we'll need to sanitize it as well. There will be an opportunity not only for those questions, but I'm going to just take the liberty of volunteering those who are on the program today. If you want to catch them in an individual interview or whatever, we can try and accommodate that as well. So with that, we'll begin our program. It's an exciting day for Kentucky, and it's even more exciting for Kentucky tourism. I'm Mike Berry. I'm the Secretary of the Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Cabinet for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And today we come together with our partners to celebrate the Commonwealth's latest effort to build a stronger Kentucky through economic and tourism development, 2 things that go very much hand in hand. Now, before I introduce our first speaker, we have some special guests that are in the audience with us today, and I'd like to recognize them. One of my compatriots in the Governor's Executive Cabinet, Secretary Holly McCoy Johnson. Secretary Johnson, if you would wave, there she is. She is the Secretary of the Finance and Administration Cabinet. We're also pleased to be in the hall of our host today, the President and CEO of Kentucky Venues, the Kentucky State Fair Board, David Beck. Thank you, David, for hosting us today. We have with us one of our tourism partners, the President and CEO of Louisville Tourism, the Convention and Visitors Bureau here in Louisville, Karen Williams. We're also pleased to have with us the Investor Development Manager for GLI, the Chamber of Commerce of Metro Louisville, Jordan Clemens. Jordan, thank you for being with us today. Through a collaborative effort between Kentucky Kingdom, the Kentucky State Fair Board, the Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Cabinet, and the Finance and Administration Cabinet, Kentucky has established an exciting new partnership that will position the tourism industry and Kentucky Kingdom Park for a long-term economic success. Under the leadership of Governor Beshear, Kentucky continues to attract new industries and build partnerships that encourage existing companies to grow and expand in the Commonwealth. Today is an example of that leadership and his administration's unwavering commitment to build a stronger Kentucky through long-term relationships that create jobs and generate revenue. The Beshear administration understands the value of tourism, an industry that brings over $11.8 billion in economic impact to the Commonwealth. And here in Louisville, tourism serves as the 3rd largest industry in our community. It is my honor to welcome our governor to share details about this exciting new endeavor for Kentucky, and this will place the Commonwealth on a path for a brighter future and further strengthen our tourism economy. Ladies and gentlemen, the 63rd Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear.
Good morning. It is an exciting morning in the Commonwealth. This is one of those days that we haven't had enough of in the past 11 months and a couple weeks. A day where we get up and we can clearly see the future, a future beyond this pandemic. I'm excited to be here today at Kentucky Venues and their facilities. Let me start by complimenting them on both how this press conference is being held, but also in the safe manner that they are holding events on these premises these past months. There is also, for anyone who wants to see it, one of the best vaccination clinics over at Broadbent in this entire country. made the front page of some of the most widely circulated newspapers. And so thank you to Kentucky Venues for being such a great host. We are here today to mark an exciting announcement for Kentucky and Kentucky tourism. In spite of the many challenges that we have faced together in our war against COVID-19, we've been careful and purposeful to never stop investing, to never stop looking towards the future, knowing that not only is there going to be a day beyond this pandemic, but that the economy is going to be different, which means there is going to be more opportunity, more chances for Kentucky to excel if we are willing to be bold, to grab onto those opportunities, and to make partnerships moving forward. As you've heard me say many times, we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through it together. But what we're going to do as we're getting through it is build a big, bright future where there are so many opportunities for our kids and our kids' kids that this pandemic to them just becomes another memory. As your governor, my commitment to attracting new business to the Commonwealth while expanding our existing relationships has never wavered. And that is why I am pleased today to announce a new partnership with Georgia-based Hershin Family Entertainment, the nation's largest family-owned theme attractions and entertainment company. Hershin has, Hershin has an impressive history of delivering world-class entertainment experiences to its guests at popular tourism attractions like Dollywood Parks and Resorts in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and the Newport Aquarium in northern Kentucky. Every year, Hershin entertains more than 14 million guests at 25 properties in 8 states. As we were talking up here earlier, I said this is a partnership that takes a good foundation, a good attraction, and turns it into an international destination to bring people in to see the finest of Kentucky and to spend their time both at the park and in our community. And this company is soon going to expand its business operations in the Commonwealth as the majority partner and operator of Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay, an amusement and water park located just adjacent to us here at the fairgrounds in Louisville. This is a 65-acre entertainment campus. Kentucky Kingdom includes a collection of amusement rides and the Hurricane Bay Water Park. Originally opened to the public in 1987, I remember it well because the day before it opened, then Lieutenant Governor Steve Beshear got to bring his 2 kids to come see the park. I was here the day before it opened, and I'm proud to be here today in what I think is a transformational announcement that's going to help us take it to the next level. This park is located in a perfect location. The intersection of 65 and 264 make it easily accessible to those that would come from Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Lexington, Nashville, and St. Louis. But I think we're going to hear more today later from our mayor about new options to attract people from all over this country, and we hope all over the world. Hershin's vision for the entertainment complex will build upon Kentucky Kingdom's solid reputation while creating an enhanced guest experience that will delight multiple generations of families. Kentucky's ability to attract investment from nationally recognized companies like this demonstrates our commitment to building a better Kentucky and shows what a bright future we have ahead of us. This is just an example of the types of titans in the industry that are looking right now at Kentucky, are seeing a big, bright future, are seeing our ability to create jobs of the future, are seeing a hungry workforce that can help them reach success, and are seeing a state government that wants to partner because we know that good jobs in your company are good jobs for our families. Tourism is an $11.8 billion business in the Commonwealth and the 3rd largest sector in Louisville, generating an annual economic impact of $3.5 billion. Hershin is a proven innovator and leader in this industry, and we are thrilled they recognize the potential that Kentucky has to offer. I think this is the first day of an amazing partnership, a partnership between this community, a partnership between the state, a partnership between these 2 great entities. And I think we all see what a special opportunity that this is, and that's why the state was very active and involved in these negotiations. I want to make sure that I thank Steve Wilson, the head of our Fair Board, who is right over here, for his determination in seeing this deal happen, in recognizing the opportunity, and in seeing the future. Now, we're going to defeat this virus, and we're going to defeat it this year. I'll say that again because it feels really good. We're going to defeat this virus, and we're going to defeat it this year. And look at where we are today and everything we have to look forward to moving forward. It's a big, bright day for Kentucky. It's one of those days where we are truly building the better Kentucky that we all want and that I want for my family and for yours. Thank you all very much. Got to make sure I put it on before I walk back.
Thank you, Governor. Hershend Enterprises is a family of companies with the collective goal of bringing families closer together by creating memories worth repeating. I think you'll hear that phrase many times over the next several months. The company operates popular tourism attractions throughout the nation that collectively entertain more than 14 million guests annually. We are excited to have Hershend CEO Andrew Wexler with us today. Wexler joined Hershend Enterprises in 2007 as Chief Financial Officer, and after 8 years of service in this pivotal role, he took the helm as Chief Executive Officer in 2015. In 2019, Wexler was named one of Atlanta's most admired CEOs by the Atlanta Business Chronicle. Let's give a big Kentucky welcome to our new partner and CEO of Hershend Enterprises, Andrew Wexler.
Thank you, Secretary Berry. Thank you, Governor Beshear. We're honored to have you here join us for the announcement today. This is an exciting moment, and I'm honored to be representing Hershend Enterprises here in this historic town, beautiful town, Louisville. And we want to continue the exceptional 30-year legacy of Kentucky Kingdom. Now, for those of you who don't know Hershend, haven't had the opportunity to get to know us, we're a small family-owned business. Started in 1950 as a cave tour in the Ozark Mountains, but is now known as Silver Dollar City. That cave tour grew into a major regional theme park, and the business grew into one of the major theme park operators in the country. Our signature brands include Dollywood. I mentioned Silver Dollar City. We also own the Harlem Globetrotters, so we're able to bring smiles to people around the world. And we own Kentucky's own Newport Aquarium. Our purpose as an entity is to bring families closer together. That's why we exist. And we think Kentucky Kingdom is going to be a great location, a great opportunity for us to live our vision. We achieve that vision by creating memories worth repeating. Now, we acquired Newport Aquarium in 2008, and one thing that we've learned since then is Kentucky is a great state for business. And we feel blessed to work alongside great partners and the incredible legacy that Ed and his partners have created with Kentucky Kingdom. But we're also going to work alongside the community and our season pass holders and the valued guests, because we want to build an incredible attraction here. And the partnership between our two entities here at Kentucky Kingdom is a perfect match from our wholesome family values and the passion to bring joy to community and families. Another reason we like to grow and expand our business is because we like to evangelize our culture. Our culture is based on love. We call it leading with love. And what that's about is making sure that we're taking care of each other, that we have each other's back. And that extends beyond just each other in the company, our employees. It's also our guests and the communities in which we serve. It means that we want to make sure we're taking care of the people that impact us. You know, the Herschen family wants to be family held forever, wants this company to be family held forever. That's a long time. If I have to worry about a forever time horizon, I have to make sure that our business is sustainable. And the only way it can be sustainable is if everybody wins. Not just the Herschens, not just the employees, not just the guests, but everybody, the community, and all stakeholders. In fact, you hear a lot of buzz in the press now about stakeholder capitalism. Well, I've been blessed as CEO that I've been working for owners that have been doing stakeholder capitalism since the 1950s. It's not just a new buzzword for them, it's the way they do business. And it's the way we'll be doing business here in Louisville. And so we're excited to be involved with different programs to make sure the community is stronger and adds value. So in closing, I just want to reinforce that we're wholeheartedly committed in leveraging our capabilities, our experience, to reopen the park in this spring, this May, to ensure that it's continues the high quality, and continues to be the incredible park that provides this community with a great place to come together, for families to come together. Now, with that in mind, I'd like to invite Craig Ross, Dollywood's president for the past 10 years, to the podium. He's been doing an incredible job for us leading Dollywood and for decades, creating environments and experiences that allow families to come together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wexler. Ed Hart has a long and distinguished career as an entrepreneur with a focus on the successful turnaround of high-profile theme parks. Following its reopening in 1990, Kentucky Kingdom, under Hart's guidance, became the fastest-growing theme park in the country and the #1 paid tourist attraction in Kentucky, with attendance increasing from 137,000 to more than 1.2 million in just 8 seasons. In recognition of this success, Hart received Louisville's Entrepreneur of the Year award. Over the years, Ed Hart has been committed to ensuring the park was successful and has been a dedicated partner to the tourism industry. Please join me in welcoming Kentucky Kingdom's Ed Hart.
Governor, Mayor, thank you so much for being here this morning and putting your stamp of approval on this transaction. We really appreciate it. Andrew, thank you also for flying in. And thank you and good morning to you all. The birth and development of Kentucky Kingdom has been my passion since we first opened the park over 30 years ago. And then again 8 years ago when we signed a lease with the Kentucky State Fair Board. Governor, as you know, your dad, Governor Steve Beshear, was instrumental in reopening the park many years ago, so it's only fitting that you're here today to welcome a new generation of leadership and innovation for Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay. As the proud founder and CEO of Kentucky Kingdom, it falls on me to ensure that the park is turned over to an organization that can improve and build on our legacy. That organization is Herschen Family Entertainment. Mayor Fisher, it seems like it was yesterday that you stood with me and my partners, Ed Glasscock, Bruce Lunsford, and the Al J. Schneider Company, and Mary Mosley, representing the Al Schneider Company here with us today as well. You stood with us when we reopened Kentucky Kingdom for a second time. And frankly, Greg, it's been quite a grind with COVID surrounding us, and I've certainly aged during that period of time, and Greg, I believe you have too. I think Andy wants to add himself to that group. I'd like to extend a special thanks to my partners. They have never wavered in their commitment and financial support for Kentucky Kingdom, even during COVID. Their commitment enabled my team to build a first-class facility that attracted the attention of one of the world's finest theme park operators. But of course, Herschend is much more than a great operator. Their corporate values and culture are a perfect fit for Kentucky Kingdom. There is no doubt in my mind that Herschend will take Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay to the next level. And Mr. Mayor, I know that Herschend will pick up where we left off regarding participation in your signature Summer Works program, which is so important to the youth of this community. Of course, the support of Kentucky Kingdom is the result of a solid partnership with the state and especially the Kentucky State Fair Board. Andrew, I can assure you that David Beck and his team at Kentucky Venues will support you 100%. And Chairman Wilson, thank you for seeing this transaction through. For me personally, I certainly understand that all good things come to an end. It's been the opportunity and joy of a lifetime to lead Kentucky Kingdom not once, but twice. That said, I'm very excited and pleased to leave the park in the capable hands of Craig Ross, Kentucky Kingdom's new general manager. Craig and I have worked together over the past several months, and I assure you, and believe me, Craig has the right stuff. I really look forward to seeing the park under Craig's direction and Herschend's stewardship reach its full potential. We laid the foundation, and we're so pleased to watch Herschend build upon it. Thank you very much. This should be an exciting next chapter.
Craig Ross was recently promoted to the role of Chief Operating Officer of the Herschend Growth and Opportunity Group. Craig is a theme park industry veteran, having worked in the industry for his entire professional career, expanding nearly 40 years. Craig's experience includes a variety of senior leadership roles, including both property-based and corporate positions across the United States, while working for multiple large and sophisticated theme park operators, including King's Entertainment Company, Paramount Parks, Cedar Fair, and of course, Herschend Entertainment. We are excited to welcome Craig to Kentucky and believe his experience will play a critical role in elevating the park to newfound success. Please join me in welcoming Craig Ross.
Good morning. So good to see everybody. Appreciate this opportunity to be with you. Jefferson, I think I'll make my remarks and then maybe we'll run the Herschend video afterwards. Does that sound good? Really just want to start off by saying what an honor it is for me personally to have this opportunity to build upon the 30-year legacy that Ed and his partners have created here. And I've gotten throughout all of this and the time that we've spent together a new friend and a man that I certainly respect and care for. So just really a privilege to be stepping in your shoes, Ed, and taking everything to the next level. And that's what we're here to do. We are literally here to take a great park located in a great city and make it even better for everyone in this community. And as I was thinking about my comments this morning, I thought, well, there's probably a handful of goals that would be nice to express, just to talk about what that means for us as we look forward. First of all, number one, we want to transition at excellence. We want to be very thoughtful in how we move ahead. We want to reassure our pass holders. I'm already taking note of all the digital and social media that's going on. What happens to my season pass? Do my benefits roll over? I want to reassure all of our season pass holders that all of the plans for 21 remain the same. Your passes are good. And if you haven't purchased a pass, we look forward to seeing you at the park this year. That, along with all of the benefits that they've been realizing and that they will realize moving forward. So just really important that we do that. The other one I noticed in social media was cinnamon bread. So we're going to have to figure out a way, if any of you have ever visited Dollywood, that's a really popular food item. So the cheddar is already burning up. We'll work to find a way to get cinnamon bread into Kentucky Kingdom. But you will see that we will really listen carefully and get to know the market. We're going to be asking folks living here and our guests that have visited before and those that have not what they would like to see in improvements and changes at Kentucky Kingdom. And in fact, one of the first things that we'll do is kick off a very robust 5-year plan to really lay out for the next 5 years what are all the opportunities and improvements and the different things that we can do to attract more people to this great park. But we're going to be hitting the ground running. I looked this morning on the calendar. We're down to 10 weeks. And there's a lot of work that has to happen in a theme park over the course of the winter to get it ready to open. So thinking about all that work, number 2 goal is to be a really great place to work for really great people. And one of the first things that Ed told me is how proud he was of his team and his managers. And I just want to recognize those that are with us here this morning, our leadership team here to our right. I'm the only outsider in the room here. These are all very experienced, talented, professional theme park operators. I really look forward to working with each and every one of them and to creating opportunities for them too, because now they're part of a much bigger organization. Talking more about people, it's really many parks end up being the first job for hundreds and hundreds of kids every year. And that story actually holds true for me at the age of 15, spinning cotton candy at King's Dominion in Virginia. So we as a company just have a really great heart for taking talented, hardworking people and making really great and strong leaders out of them. So again, I want to echo how important the Summer Works program is and how much we're going to work to, again, build off of the legacy that Ed and his team have accomplished in parents trusting their kids working at the park and really creating the future leaders of tourism and industry for tomorrow. It's very important to us. Also talking about people, and this is something that's kind of new with Herschend being involved now, we have a team of about 100 folks back in Atlanta that we refer to as not our corporate office, but as our property support center. And so each of our leaders within each of their individual disciplines will have a fleet of folks available to support them to carry their body of work to the next level. And it's really worked extremely well for us. We're able to tap into the talents of folks that otherwise, as a single standalone park, are not likely and are not feasible. So I really want to welcome the Herschend folks to the Louisville market, and you'll be seeing a lot of them. Our food folks were in yesterday doing food testing. It was unfortunate we were planning for today's meeting and couldn't taste any of the good food, but we're already at work leveraging the talents of our Herschend folks all along. So for the park, what's in store for the park? Well, I mentioned the 5-year plan, and we do open in 10 weeks, and so we've got a lot of work to do just to get the park open, but we're going to go to work immediately to determine where we want to go with making Kentucky Kingdom a bigger and better and greater park. And for me, that will fall into a couple of categories. We want to broaden the appeal of the park, and we want to expand the brand. So what does that mean? Extended season would likely broaden the appeal of the park. Families are spending time a lot differently these days. Think about how you spend your own summer and how time-starved you are to fit in that family vacation with all of the other things that are going on. Herschend has learned through the performance of our other properties that families and school calendars and behaviors are all much different, and therefore the fall and Christmas season end up becoming great times to connect families together. So look for us to consider opportunities to expand the season, also to broaden the appeal. Folks are living longer, and younger kids are almost like little adults at the age of 3. And so you'll see that we'll be very intentional in the attractions and the new experiences that we bring to bear, being very thoughtful about things that families can do together, albeit grandparents all the way down to pre-K and the like. Thrill rides are really important. They're the lifeblood of our business. But rides that families can enjoy together, likewise, are critically important. Shows, live shows and entertainment in the form of shows themselves, but also as festivals and events throughout the year. Look to us to implement those throughout the season. Remarkable decor. Anytime we bring a festival or an event onto the park, the food offerings change, the retail offerings change, the planning within the park. Everything about the park changes during these events. It takes on a whole new life. Remarkable culinary experiences, not just cinnamon bread, but many other forms of food. And I don't know about you, but I love to eat my way through a theme park. So we'll be providing plenty of opportunities for folks to do that. All these things will take the form of the work that we'll be doing here immediately through our creative studios team that's based at Hershon. Designers and developers have already been on property, and we're beginning to formulate those plans. Number 4, we really feel it's critically important to encourage and invite more people to visit not only Kentucky Kingdom, but Louisville and the state of Kentucky. We'll look to form new partnerships and really strengthen the ones that are already in place to bring folks here. We'll actually even have a dedicated tourism, travel tourism marketing plan. Not just one plan, but one that really focuses on how do we draw more new people into the city. We love this market, we love this city and all that it stands for, and so we really look forward to working with everyone in the days to come to build upon those plans. And the partnerships and all of that come along with it. Not to mention how much we appreciate the partnerships and the support that we already enjoy from the community. So in closing, the future's bright. I want to thank you in advance for your support and your warm welcome. I can't wait to see everyone on the park in your comfortable shoes. And let's go ahead and roll the video. This is a highlight reel for Hershon Enterprises. So sit back and enjoy some of the things that I mentioned you may find in the video.
Thank you, Craig. And while that cinnamon bread sounds like a good idea, don't be surprised if you get some requests here in Kentucky for bourbon sauce to go over the top of it. Known as the home of Muhammad Ali, the Kentucky Derby, Louisville Slugger, baseball, Maker's Mark, and more, Louisville is the largest city in America to be designated as an international compassionate city. Mayor Fisher and his team have been committed to shaping the city of Louisville into one that prides itself on Southern hospitality and strives to be a city that is welcoming and inclusive to all guests. The expansion of Hershend will continue to elevate the city's reputation as being a top travel destination for families to enjoy. Louisville is known internationally for world-class tourism attraction and events, and we are excited to work closely with the city and Louisville tourism to continue to bring opportunities like this to the city. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Greg Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everybody. A lot has been said up here today, so I just want to add my thanks to the Governor, Steve Wilson, Kentucky Fair Board, everybody for getting this done, and to Ed Hart and the fellow entrepreneurs that he has pulled together to make this such a dream for so many people over the years. And Ed, this is how it's supposed to work. You know, when you put something together over decades, and you guys have been relentless in terms of making Kentucky Kingdom a place of excellence. But the job of a great leader is to make sure when it's time for them to leave is to pass it on to somebody else that's going to make it even greater. And that's what Ed has done with his team here, Ed Glasscock and others, with teaming up with Hershend. And it's just wonderful to see a story like this happen. And that's what good hard work is all about. We've talked about how valuable the kingdom is to our tourism sector here, but this has been so important in another way because the kingdom is oftentimes the first job for so many of our young people in our community that may not have a connection to get a job somewhere else. Since reopening the park in 2014, Kentucky Kingdom has been one of our biggest employer partners, a signature partner in our Summer Works program. And we put that together so kids could experience the joy of work and what it's like to get that first paycheck. Everybody remembers that. So with Kentucky Kingdom leading the way on that, it's transformed the leadership opportunities for thousands and thousands of kids in our city. And to the Hershend team, I thank you all, Craig and Andrew, for your commitment to keeping that going. And just a commercial to Louisville's youth, we got 1,200 jobs to fill over here, okay? So there's plenty of opportunities. If you're wondering what you're going to be doing this summer, please take a look at the Kentucky Kingdom opportunity. To the Hershend team, you know, for me as the mayor, when you think about a transaction and a transition of an asset that's so valuable like Kentucky Kingdom, it's a cause for concern, depending on who's going to take that. But as Ed and Craig talked to me about the Hershend, and of course I was very well aware of them, all right, I couldn't think of a better partner for us because of the proximity of so many of their attractions that they have, and the values that they have as a company are exceptional. How many CEOs of a major company come to the podium and talk about love? Not a lot. You're a good man for doing that. In this time of strife in the world, we should all remember that's what we should start with: love, kindness, compassion, and then all these other differences should be secondary. So I really commend you for that, and I commend Hershend on their company value. It's right there: leading with love, being patient, kind, humble, respectful, trusting, unselfish, forgiving, truthful, and dedicated. So imagine a world where everybody lived those values. Things would be going a lot better. But we can never give up on that as well. So we need corporate partners to lead the way and use their pulpits to share those values, just as we have, being declared an international model city of compassion 5 years in a row. Hershend's also a leader in sustainability. Never been more important for companies to show that the bottom line and sustainability are complementary. They go hand in hand. So with yesterday's announcement of the Louisville Extreme downtown, today there's 3 major economic development announcements happening in the city before noontime. It gives me great hope. It has been a tough year through the pandemic and other challenges, but to see people coming and announcing their investment in the city of Louisville, we had a great momentum until the pandemic hit, but now we're going to be one of the first cities to recover as well. And this announcement from Hershend today is a very important step in that journey. So thank you to you guys, Ed. Again, thank you to you all, and everybody. Have a great day, and stay strong, Louisville. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Kentucky Kingdom opened to the public in 1987 following a decision by the Kentucky State Fair Board to build a family amusement park in the Commonwealth. Today, that same Fair Board remains committed to ensuring the success of the park and understands the value that the park brings to our tourism and local economies. As chairman of the State Fair Board, Steve Wilson, as well as his fellow board members, some of which are here today, David Beck, Karen Williams, there may be some others, have been committed to ensuring that Kentucky Kingdom is positioned for success by fostering community partnerships that have positioned Louisville to be a premier travel destination. The Kentucky State Fair Board is determined to ensure the Commonwealth's entertainment and travel industry continues to grow. Please join me in welcoming Steve Wilson, Chairman of the Kentucky State Fair Board.
Thank you, Secretary Berry. Governor, I share your comments about what an exciting day it is today. You know, change is often difficult to think about, and when we first heard about this possible deal, we didn't know who the buyer was, and some of us were overtaken with that fear of the unknown, and unfortunately, sometimes that we start a negotiation or an idea, oh, we don't know what's happening, what might happen, but the moment we found out who the new partner was, it was a breath of fresh air. The idea that Dollywood was coming, the people of Dollywood were coming here, the Hershin family. It was such a relief and such an exciting thought about what would happen in the future that we had a unanimous vote yesterday at the Fair Board meeting to support this deal and to open our arms to the new partner at Kentucky Kingdom. I know I speak for David Beck and the staff here. We're really looking forward to working with this new company and to the exciting changes that are being talked about. As I close the program here, I want to say I don't think enough can be said for Ed Beck. Ed Hart. Ed, as a fellow entrepreneur, I know that it's often very difficult to get a new idea off the ground. This Kentucky Kingdom is a wonderful place that Ed had in his mind before we even knew what it was, a place where families can come and enjoy a time, and a place where young people can work, as you've heard. So I don't think enough can be said for that moment, that the thought pattern that happens when Ed first dreamed of this place, and we're all looking forward to what it's going to become. Thank you for all that. So thank you all for coming. We really are looking forward to the future. I'll turn it back over to you, Secretary Berry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hershin's decision to expand its operations in the Commonwealth is a reflection of the state's reputable tourism industry and the commitment of this administration to move Kentucky forward by investing in tourism and economic development. We look forward to being a partner with Hershin to promote their vision for a newly reimagined attraction that will create a multi-generational experience that visitors across the nation will travel to Kentucky to enjoy. I want to thank Governor Beshear, Mayor Fisher, Hershin executives, Ed Hart and his team, and the team at Kentucky Kingdom, and the hardworking professional staff here at Kentucky Venues, many of which you are seeing here today, for your commitment to the tourism industry here in Kentucky. I also want to thank our partners in the audience who joined us today to celebrate this exciting expansion, and those who will play a critical part of our partnership as we focus on future success of the park and our economy. Your commitment is a sign that success lies ahead for Louisville and Kentucky tourism. Now we're going to open up the floor for questions from the media. Again, you're welcome to use these two microphones here. And we will also have media availability with Hirschend representatives and community leaders following the conclusion of this Q&A. Does anyone wish to take advantage of the Q&A portion? We have our first victim.
Lexi Ratterman with WDRB News. I think this would probably be a question more so for Craig as he kind of went through the 5-year plan. Can you talk a little more about what people may notice, more specifically this coming summer, those pass holders that go every year? Will they notice any specific differences this summer or this year?
That's a very fair and reasonable question. I think with 10 weeks out to go before we open, we're focused on the opening of the park. I think we'd want to reassure all of our pass holders that what they've come to know and expect in their privileges and their experiences at the park will continue to be the case. We are bringing back the Sea Lion Show. There was some debate for that. I know that that's a big favorite. We're evaluating other forms of entertainment and some things that we could do to get a little bit of a test and to get a sense of how guests feel about it. We're going to go out immediately and start to ask a lot of questions and to get some community input and feedback. We've already had our teams through the property. One that I'm really proud of is a group that we have of in-house designers and developers that we refer to as our creative studio. So they've already started to do some work to begin to think about how we could bring the park to the next level and bring it to life. I think that Louisville itself has a lot of great assets that we would want to celebrate. I know that Ed's done that in the past as well. But this is the fun part, honestly. But given the fact that we have about 10 weeks before we open and a few months that we've been working on this, we're just really ready to go to get that done. And we've got a lot of good people working on it, and I look forward to getting a lot of good feedback from folks. But we'll move as quickly as we possibly can to start to demonstrate that. New things to see and do in our business are the lifeblood of this. And so that's critical, and that's not at all lost on us or in terms of how we approach all of our properties. We're thinking of and introducing new things all the time, and that's where I get all the joy from this, from just working and playing with it, like designing your own home. So we look forward to that work.
And another question while you're still up there, Mr. Ross. Kentucky Kingdom, we've talked a lot about those seasonal jobs, those kids in high school. I grew up here, had a lot of friends who had those same jobs. But for those who aren't seasonal, those full-time employees, management positions, are those people likely going to stay where they are? I know there were a lot of talks of layoffs and things over the pandemic.
Yeah, so very near on, we reorganized slightly, but for the most part, we're intact with exactly the same group of folks that we had before. They know the park. They know what they do extremely well. A good number of them will be receiving promotions within the role that they have. Their areas of responsibility will align a little bit differently so that they can connect well with their counterpart with Hirschend. So they'll have someone at Hirschend in Atlanta to help support them in their role. The biggest thing about all of that for me is the opportunity to progress within the organization. This will be my 7th stop in my career, and each and every time I've had a chance to go to a different property and be in a different role, I've had the opportunity to re-engineer myself, recreate myself, and grow and develop even further. So we're really big on that. The ratio of leaders to employees is about 1 to 10. So out of every 10 folks, we're looking to create that leadership opportunity for everybody. The door is wide open with all that we have going on for that. Likewise, for other folks to come into the community and be part of our team here too.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Other questions? Yes, sir.
I'm going to keep you up there too, actually.
Craig.
I was going to piggyback off of that question and just what can people expect as far as obviously we're still in the pandemic and then the change in leadership as well. Will there be anything kind of pending the pandemic, or what is this reopening maybe looking like while planning as a new company during a pandemic?
So we're going to follow the same plan that Ed and his team implemented. My understanding is they work directly with the governor's office to advance and lead that plan. In this line of business, and it gets said often, but I can't overemphasize it enough, safety is the very most important thing that we do. And so if moms do not trust and we don't build the trust in the community of safety, that's critical. So we will do everything that we need to do to get through the pandemic. I look out every day from my window at the office at the park, and I'm watching the vaccinations go along, and I think the word is positive. We plan to open on May 8th. That's a couple of weeks later than normal, just in some consideration of the timing that we did that. But we'll continue to do the things. We have a very sophisticated safety group that will complement the very sophisticated safety group that's here at Kentucky Kingdom to make sure that we're doing all of the standard things and the protocols. I think part of life in all of this and the challenge has been getting outdoors and moving around and being with friends is also part of a healthy life as well. And I think we feel like we can do both well. We can protect folks from COVID, but also allow them to get out and spend time together.
Thank you. Question here?
Yes, and we'll probably keep him up there one more time. As far as marketing-wise for Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay, I think the name Kentucky Kingdom has obviously been a point of pride for people here in Louisville and in Kentucky. There's been a few names up there. Can they expect any type of name change either now or in the years to come from your guys' end?
Well, I think that the name is an awesome name, both the Commonwealth name and the word Kingdom and Hurricane Bay as well. They're all great names. If something were to surface throughout our process and the research, we would consider those things. But I would like to think about it as we'll bring more names to the equation. You'll be hearing more about Kentucky Kingdoms knew this or Kentucky Kingdoms knew that. Again, the park enjoys a really great reputation. If you go out and look at what guests say about their visit here, they have good things to say. Hershend, and we're really proud of ours too. We watch that very closely to ensure that we're leading, and we are a leading group in terms of that. We have very high standards. We'll work with the folks in the park to honor the name and to continue to do that. But I really feel like the more important thing that we do is tell our story to more people and encourage more people to visit Kentucky Kingdom for what they know that it is and that it offers.
And secondly, could we expect more trips from the Harlem Globetrotter to Freedom Hall?
Well, I have to turn to this one over here and ask him about that. But as soon as things are able to support that activity, they're raring to go. And, I can't blame you for wanting to see them because they're awesome, just awesome. We're proud to have them part of the company.
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I had another question is Governor Beshear still here? Or someone from
No, he had a White House COVID task force call.
No problem. Well, maybe someone with Kentucky Kingdom can answer this, but it was, were there any other offers or other deals? Did Hershend come to the table on this? And what would have been the alternative? I know obviously the state is spending a lot of money on COVID. What would have been the alternative had this deal not gone through?
When we finish our sanitization here, we'll let Ed Hart answer that question. Thank you.
There's very few owner-operated parks left in North America. So we were approached by a number of other operators, national operators, inquiring over the last couple of years about purchasing Kentucky Kingdom. And we considered some of those, but you have to make sure, as I mentioned in my comments, you have to pass the baton on to somebody you really believe can build on your legacy. So although we had those offers, I reached out to Hershend As a matter of fact, our general counsel had a relationship with Hershen's general counsel because they're both on a number of the industry legal roundtables. And when our general counsel called Hershen's general counsel, they passed it on to Andrew almost immediately. 24 hours later, I'm on the phone with Andrew, who clearly was showing interest. And then literally 1 or 2 days later, Craig came down the last weekend in September and reviewed the park while we had guests. So I knew right away, their reputation was sound, but I knew right away that their interest and just the way Craig walked through the park, the questions he asked, I knew that was the right deal. And from there, we began the negotiations.
Thank you.
My last thing was just you talked about going into the community to get feedback. What can people expect as far as a lot of people are going to see this and want to maybe weigh in? Are you going to be at churches, schools, hold feedback? Will it be online?
So I will be out into the community, and we will look to the digital bloggers and the other platforms that we have. There are a number of them available to us that we will do. I'm accustomed to doing season pass holder focus groups. We'll also set up a moms board is a best practice that we've used in the past to get feedbacks from moms. We'll actually conduct some very in-depth research that will be done professionally to get all of that feedback. And, you know, kind of my number one way to get it is to stand at the front gate. Not so much in the morning, but at the end of the day to see how their day was and just sort of stand and greet folks. But thank you for that question, because we do want folks to offer that feedback. And I know folks are anxious to hear, you know, what are we going to change and what will be different. And for 21, that all stays the same with pass holders and all that. It's important to get that word out, but also that we'll be reaching out to talk to our guests to understand what they think the opportunities are here for us. So absolutely. Thank you so much.
We have one more question.
Yeah, I got one for Ed. Just you talked a little bit about the timetable. Just curious how long this was in the works, and why was now a good time to just sell and, you know, bring in a new buyer?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Last year was a very difficult season, of course. We only operated for half our season. And we fulfilled all our obligations financially. And my partners and I have been very fortunate in life that, you know, we're pretty well healed. And we can put whatever money's necessary to keep the park going. But I don't know if you've noticed, but we're sort of up there in age. All of us are a bit long in the tooth. And I had to stand back and say, you know, I'm concerned about three things. One, I'm concerned about the legacy of the park. Make sure it continues to grow. It hasn't even remotely reached its full potential. This park has done almost 1.4 million people. And in normal circumstances, we do about 800,000 now, but we were building. And we got hit with a couple of very wet summers and then COVID. So to put the right resources into the park to keep it going and to make sure our legacy is fulfilled, I said, you know, maybe now's the time to try to get the right partner. And the second consideration after legacy was to make sure this young team of professional managers that we've nurtured over the last 8 years, the directors and the senior managers, they were seasonal team members 8 years ago. And I'm so proud, and they're back here now, I'm so proud how they grew in their responsibilities. And we wanted to make sure, my partners, myself, that they were with the right company to make sure they had the full opportunity of growth and to excel in their chosen careers. And then third was to get a fair deal. It was the least important of the three criteria. Andrew might have taken advantage of that, I'm not quite sure. But we're very pleased with the financial piece of this as well. And those are the three criteria I established and shared with my partners, and they wholeheartedly concurred. I think that answered your question? Okay.
Okay. Well, with that, we will wrap up this portion of the press conference. As I mentioned, our speakers will be here if you would like to engage them individually. We encourage everybody to stay healthy, stay hopeful, and we look forward to seeing all of you either splashing in Hurricane Bay or on a coaster in Kentucky Kingdom. Thank you very much. Have a great day.